Hey fam, it's Gant.
And Jade.
And welcome to this week's episode of the Good Black Podcast.
So, the catch up. Hey, friend. Hey, cousin.
What up?
What's been going on?
To listeners per usual work. We are entering busy season, so typically we hit like the mid July through mid September. It's high season for us. It's a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, I guess because you're getting ready for folks to move in. I'm like, it always sounds like it's a busy season. I don't understand. What's the differentiation?
I know, but I will say that this is the highest season of the year. Fall move-in is the time where like it gets like super crazy. So I am confirmed to be chairing two committees. This coming year. Yes, so like that's dope. That's exciting. But just going into that and then excuse me, y'all. Yeah, so just going into that, I'm excited. Excited about the coming year. I'm trying to change my perspective and see the good in going into year 4 at this job. So I'm excited about it. I'm optimistic. Things are good. Things are not great. My former supervisor just left, and so I am absolutely excited for her to move on and up to greener pastures. But I'm like, I have a high amount of respect for her, so I was blown that she's leaving. So that sucked. But in life, things are going well. Starting to plan a wedding, and venue searching, and
I would tell you to look into the venue that I use, but they closed. They closed.
Well, where went that?
Yep, our auntie told me about that. When did I go home that first time? I think it was in 2015. So I got married in 2013. I think in 2015 they closed and didn't put the notice out to the people that had confirmed and booked. And so I think something like a news channel showed up and they're like, "Hey, how you feel about this?" And they're like, "Excuse me, what now?"
Oh man, that sucks. Actually, my mom just brought that up to me. She was like, "Oh, well, did y'all look into the place where Jay got married?" And I was like, "No."
I mean, double check to see if they're maybe they're open under new management or something, because it was a cool space and everything. Yeah. My one tip to people, especially when it comes to planning weddings and budget, because that's a thing that guests don't seem to think about. Even though people have had their own weddings, they're like, "Oh, well, can I bring myself, my man, his sister, my other 2 cousins?" Wait a minute, these are plates. These plates are adding up. You also got married at one point in time. Why are you asking me this?
Yes.
Selective amnesia. But yeah, my one tip for folks is there are a lot of venues out there that have packages, and they it's different packages or different levels of included, things that are included. So I can't remember. I'd have to ask my mom about this, but we only everything from the linens to the chairs, I think even down to the food, was included in the package for the venue. And then they had referrals for the photography. We also got uplighting that was included. So yeah, check out, because certain spaces are like, "Oh yeah, you need to provide all of these other vendors if you want to use the space." And then other venues are like, "Yeah, a lot of this stuff is included." So just ask around. But good luck to you, homie.
Oh, because yeah, tis been interesting. Because ain't everybody got no money for this. This is not money for that, is what yes. So it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's been good, and it's exciting. It's it's a new thing. So it's it's nerve inducing in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's what's going on with me. How about you?
Work as well. So the regular 9 to 5, I had a series of hours that I needed to use or lose as far as vacation time goes. And Jay don't believe in giving back no vacation time. So between May and June, I got it done. took some half days, took some whole days. And basically for 2 months, I had all Fridays off. And then for 1 month, I had Mondays and Fridays off, and then some half. It was a lot. So having to traverse that and, coming, like being back and forth online for work it was a little disorienting, but I made it through and I really enjoyed the time away. But yeah, work, always plotting my slow rolling takeover of my organization. That's always fun. And and so outside of the 9 to 5, it's doula stuff. So I don't have any families that have babies due anytime soon. But what is happening, and I can't remember if I mentioned it to y'all or not, what's happening is I decided to, and I have the privilege to take a break. So I'm taking a very intentional break from supporting babies and families, and just so I can like have some dedicated time, bandwidth, energy, mental stuffs to focus on like my business. So I want to expand some services. So I want to make sure that I do that in the way that feels best for me. There's going to be a couple updates and pricings. I want to really focus in on my social media strategy and the look and feel of things. So just it'll basically be 3 months where I'm able to do this before I have to like be in person at a birth. And I'm so thankful that I decided to do this. I'm excited. And so the clock started on that July 1. So yeah, I'm put together my little plan for like, what are all the things that I need to cover in this 3 month span of time? So yeah, that's work and work. And then outside of that, just trying to work on myself. I recently had some stuff happen and I was like, you know what? We thought we were done. We're not. My counselor was like, you healing is a lifelong thing. It doesn't you don't just do the work and then it's done. I said, was I that arrogant to think that that's how it happened? Apparently so. Yeah, also making like another reason I'm glad that I have this 3 month break from like having to support families in real time or at a birth is because now I can use that time to also focus on myself and just do some really deep reflection, which is needed. And it will support me in getting closer and closer to the person and the adult that I want to be. So I'm excited about that. I've got some workbooks, I've got some journals, so that's that. Oh, and then I've been going outside a little bit more, but I'm about to stop doing that. Outside is expensive.
Yeah, it is.
It's expensive. And I was like, how did I used to do this a lot more? And maybe, because in the first month of the pandemic, I think I saved like $600 or $700. I was like, what was I doing with my life? Why was I out here like that? And it's not, and let me just also clear this up. It's not that I was out here blowing $600, $700 on like drinks or going out and stuff. But I think, especially in that first month of pandemic, I'm not going out. I'm not buying as much food because like I'm eating less. And then all of the smaller things are all of the things that I would consider small. I'm not indulging in. Like I didn't need to buy clothes, so I didn't. And so I was just able to pocket that money. I'm like, what, how? So yeah, outside is expensive. I think they also jacked up some of the prices because they know people are going back outside.
Certainly.
So I'm gonna chill on that. Oh, and I have a vacation coming up.
Oh, see, that's always been my issue is pocketing money, like extra, like it's like in my mind, extra money. What's that? We're going to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm gonna give me as many lattes as I can. I don't know why. Like I'm really pushing myself to work on that more and be more intentional about the way that I spend my money because money is a resource. It is a tool, and it is to be used wisely. And I just, I don't know. Is it America? I feel like America just makes me so frustrated and sad. Sometimes I'm like, I'm going to get the latte because I deserve it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just, getting 6 of them in a week is where it becomes a problem.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, like cutting down, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, if you just cut out Starbucks, you can save down payment for a house. But I've noticed, because that's BS, but I've noticed that like cutting out, like not going outside for the last year, I was like, I'm not spending money. I don't want to say mindlessly because that sounds horrible. I'm just not spending money in a way that I used to. And so I'm like, I like having some more money in the coffers. And also, I'm not trying to give you $15 for a drink, sir. Ew.
I am very fortunate that I don't drink often. I think I was actually telling a friend I had my first drink in 4 years. Friday night. It's like, because I don't really drink. But like I had one because my friends had a gathering, and so yeah, I went for that, and I was like, it's been a while. So but it was really good. Tequila 1800 peach flavor.
I love peach flavored alcohol. I'm also learning that about myself.
I don't know the drinks, but that was good. Now that was great. So so yes.
So yeah, I mean, all that stuff. Saving money is wonderful. I've enjoyed it this last year. They trying to get me out here with these DC prices and like parking, and it's a whole other ball game. I'm like, and the culture around here, as far as connecting with people, is really centered around food. Like we are known for our brunches. And so that was a time, but you can easily, like, once thinking about a brunch day, it usually turns into an all day thing with your people. And so you're at brunch, don't let it be all you can eat, because then that's gonna, like, those are not cheap. Don't let it be all you can eat and drink, because those are super not cheap. And then on top of that, people are like, oh, what's the move after? Let's find a day party. And so now you just spending money, and it exits your pocket so fast. I don't know. So not having that / finding other ways to connect with people has been really beautiful. It's been wonderful on my pockets and just on my friendships. So I'm like, we need to make a return to like finding ways to spend time together that don't involve us spending so much money.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm working on that, and that may be an episode for another week. But I'm trying to be more outgoing, I guess is the word. I don't spend a lot of time with people who are not my fiance. And like, that's trash. Like I really need to do a better job, because she has friends and she goes out. Like, if she goes,
don't be that guy in the relationship that don't got friends.
I know.
Don't be that guy.
That's so it's bad. And so I'm working on it. I am aware, and I'm working to do better. I'm just also like, I don't know. People get on my nerves easily.
Oh, likewise.
So it's like,
but you gotta find your people, and then you spend your time with them, and then you go back to your separate corner and do what you need to do, and then they'll be there.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to. I need to figure that out. I need more. I need married friends, first of all. I need people who know what's going on with life. Which shout out to my current supervisor, who gave me like some really good advice recently on planning a wedding, because he not recently, he got married about a year or two ago. So he knows the things, and he's like, yeah, I'm aware. So shout out to him. If you are listening, shout out to you. And yeah, so I need to work on that. I need to get me some married friends, and and some folks I can actually talk to and confide in, who are not my partner. She don't have to hear everything.
Right.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Oh, fine. So note to the listeners, we are going to be skipping the scroll for this episode, because we want to give enough time and space for Family Feud. And we hope you enjoy that. So let's hop on over to the Family Feud segment. for Family Feud this episode, we wanted to try something a little different, and it's gonna hopefully give you a little bit of insight to just a little bit more about who we are as peoples. And so we're gonna play a game. It's 10 questions between cousins. So each of us, we're gonna have the opportunity to ask 5 questions of the other person. And we talked before we started recording. We're gonna try very hard not to be the loquacious and verbose individuals that we are.
We're gonna work on it.
We're gonna work on it. But y'all here now, so strap in.
Pause it while you go to Kroger, and then you put it back on when you get back.
Exactly. So yeah, we each get 5 questions to ask the other person. We are going to try and be succinct, but then at the same time that we're being succinct, not be like elusive. So you will get some detail, but you know, full stories might just turn into episodes later on. So stay tuned. So I'll go first. My first question to Gant, especially because he talked about it in the catch up, just about the wedding planning. How did you propose to your partner?
Oh, so wow, actually, funny story. So to try to keep it brief, still panoramic time. So I had actually gotten the ring, like I picked the ring out around, I was trying to get it for our anniversary, and I was like a week shy. So I ended up just waiting, a couple more weeks, really about a month. So I was intending to propose on New Year's Eve. And because I was co-conspiring with friends and family and stuff and people, she got suspicious. Like somebody texted her and was like, hey girl, because I was like, hey, somebody take her out. She's always told me, she's like, don't propose to me and my nails aren't done. And she doesn't get her nails done because she is at the time, it's a upcoming nurse, so they can't have like nail polish and all that stuff. So, but her friend was like, hey girl, we're not gonna be able to hang out for a while, let me take you get your nails done. I'm going to get my nails done, so you just come with me. And so it was like, she was like,
that's suspicious,
that's weird, right? So my intention was New Year's Eve, but she's like, are you getting ready to propose to me? And I was like, no, I feel like I played it off well. I was like, little baby's a little thirsty. Want a ring? You okay? So we, did that whole dance. So I did not. So I was like, okay, no, abort mission, not today. So I ended up the following day. I set up one of the rooms here in the building where we live, because there were no students at the time. It's winter break. So set up one of the rooms where we live, that has a really nice view. And I got a I got a projector and one of the big movie screens that we usually use for the students to do outside movies or something. Yeah. And she had been toying around with the idea during the summertime of last year of doing a YouTube. So she recorded a video and she was like, if you edit it for me, that'll be the thing. And I never did it. So my intro was okay, I got us food and, we went up to the room and my intro was hey, I know that you really wanted to do this thing at this point in time. And, I want to show you that I can follow through, that I can do it. And so she's like, okay, well, she's starving, so she has food enough. And so I pull up the, thing. And so I set up the intro of the video to be a thumbnail basically of what, what she would have had for the video. And then I, do my whole speech and she's like, all right, can I just eat? Because we can watch the video, it's fine. We know what it looks like. So I play the video and it is essentially all of our friends and family, not everybody, but a lot of our friends and family, giving us well wishes and, and congratulating us.
She's like, well wishes for what? What?
Right. So she's like, huh? So yes. So she is, so she cries. So that was the proposal. proposal story. She
Wait,
was
but when did you actually propose? Was it after the well wishes video or
I'm
before?
saying it wrong. So I
Okay.
did propose first, and then I was like, okay, well, I wanted to show you, like, that I could, that I was committed,
Oh,
that
okay.
I can be, that I can, I can be focused and I can do these things for you and I can be supportive and all this jazz. And then I
Got it.
proposed. We went through that process, the happiness and the tears and such, and then I
Got
played
it.
the video. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, this story doesn't make any sense at this point.
I'm not a good storyteller. She tells me that I don't tell stories well. My bad, but
I
yes.
love that.
Yeah.
And the rest will be history.
It shall be
That's cute.
good history, fingers crossed.
Good history. Good history. Always.
So,
Yep.
so yes. All right. So my question for you is, how did you meet your partner?
Ooh, okay. I mean, it's pretty simple. He is a part of a Black Greek letter organization as well. And so their local chapter was doing a cookout, and it was in May. Yeah, because it was around the Cinco de Mayo holiday. And he was there. He's an active member of his chapter. He was there. And so let me actually take it back a couple. Before moving back to this area, before moving back to the DMV area, my line sister and several of my friends from school lived in this area. And so they, have been frequent guests of the members of this chapter, like hosting events and stuff like that. So my people, my girls knew him. And so like fast forward to, it was, when did I meet him? 2017. Yeah, I met him in 2017. So fast forward to 2017, we're at this cookout at their facility. And they introduced me to him and I was like, oh, okay, he's cute, And then found out we were the same number because I'm also a member of an organization. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Hey, hey again, number. He real cute now. And we really didn't talk much outside of that first introduction, but then, doing my cookout thing, meeting more people, having fun. I am a very funny person. I am the perpetual hype man in my circle of friends. And, I take that energy to outings when I am so inclined. So having a good time, just getting to know people, especially because that was like my first big outing since I'd moved back to this area. So at some point in time, like I definitely had a couple shots in me.
Okay.
So the liquid courage was there. At some point in time, I see him putting up chairs and he's like cleaning up because he didn't want to wait until the end of the function. And then they have all this stuff to do. He's a very responsible man and I love him for it. But yeah, so he's stacking chairs. And so I go over to him and I'm like, hey, you got a girlfriend? He's like, me? No. And so I pull out my phone. I was like, can I get your number? He was like, yeah. So I pulled up on him. That's how that happened. That's how I met my partner.
Take charge.
Take charge. Yep, I rolled up on him. And so got Shorty's number, and we've been talking ever since then. But yeah, I mean, he was cute. He seemed nice. I have this thing about men in glasses. It's very interesting. Men look so sophisticated when they wear glasses. He wears glasses and he actually needs them. Like, well, so I have fashion glasses. The reason I said that, I have fashion glasses and they're purely for fashion purposes. So I tell people, because I feel bad, I feel like I'm appropriating glasses culture. I'm like, yeah, I don't need these, but I look cute though, right? But yeah, he actually needs glasses. So yeah, I rolled up on him, got his number, and started talking from there. And then we went on our first date within the first week and had a couple different conversations between the first time that we met and then that first date. And it was really nice. We went to lunch because we were both working in the city at the time. And I was so nervous. I was so nervous. Because it had been a while since I had been on a date. Yeah, I met him in 2017. I got divorced in 2015 and had not dated, had not talked to. Like at one point, I was like, "Am I broke? No, 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 no. Is my heart broken?" But so I was just really excited, and he's so cute. He's a very handsome man. But yeah, so that's how that all went down as far as me meeting him. So yeah.
We love a love story. Oh.
Yeah, and here we are. 17 million years later, feels like.
Not 17. It feels that way. No,
but no, I mean, it blows my mind that it's been since 2017.
Yeah. Does it feel like does it, I mean, like, because I feel like once you get past a certain number of like years in a relationship, like it starts to feel like there was a time before this? Like, I mean, like, not that there's not a time before, but it's just like I don't see there being a time without.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't hit that level. Yeah, I know what you're saying though, because the same thing kind of happens when people have kids. Just like you seem like you've just always been here. Yeah, but no, I don't think although we do, when we have conversations, because we've been in each other's lives for this amount of time, we often have to think, like sometimes we'll try to remember things like, now, were you in my life at that point in time? Let me think.
Yes.
And that'll be the gauge. It's like, no, this was before you. Okay, so XYZ year. And so that's cute. But
yeah, I think that we have just known each other for so long that it just feels that way, because I think now I met her in 2013. So
wow.
Yeah, like it's been a while. It's really been a while, but that's when we met. We didn't start dating until maybe a year or two after we met.
Okay.
So yeah, it just feels like now it's like it's been so long now, and it also feels like she's just here.
She's just here, yeah, and we out here together.
Yeah, it's just when you think when I think about it, that I feel like, whoa, like you've been out here for a while, like, and then we have to think about situations and things. It's like, was that you?
Right, right.
Let me think about
not trying to be shady, but like I feel like I had this experience. Was that you that I was with?
Yeah. So we have had those conversations. Like she actually recently, she's like, yeah, like you and I went to this place, and I was like, that wasn't me. That wasn't me, dog. That wasn't me. She's like, I am sure it wasn't. Tell you now, it wasn't. Right. You keep fighting that battle.
Just inserting your partner into every life situation you've ever experienced. Like, now that's not how that works.
No, ma'am, it's not. Okay, so we'll wrap that question. Thank you for answering.
Yeah. So my next question is, what have been the top 3 milestones in your life so far?
Ooh. When you say milestones, you mean like accomplishments or like?
I wanted it to be very broad so you could answer how you saw fit.
Okay. Okay, well, first one is getting engaged. That was a big deal. And I feel like I've changed a lot since then. And it's only been 6-7 months. It's only been like this year, but I feel like I've changed a lot since then. I think my perspectives on life have changed, and my perspectives on myself and my own personal development and growth, and and desires and goals and how to achieve those things. Like I've been a lot more focused this year. So I feel, and I personally, I attribute it to the engagement, because now I have more of a reason to be focused and more of a reason to be driven. It's like, for me, when I think and when I like pray and all that stuff, I'm like, my family, like I have to take care of my family. And and she is my family now, in my opinion. We're not married yet, but so yeah, so her and Luna, they're my family now. That's my dog, y'all. You can find that easily on social media, so it's fine. So yeah, so that's my family now. So yeah, so that's number one. Number two, I would say deciding to move abroad. That was a big milestone for me, and I think it is the first thing that I have done in my life that I was really scared to do.
Yeah, it's
Um,
huge. It's huge.
yeah, that was a big deal for me, and it was scary, and I didn't realize that I was scared until it was like I was on the way to the airport, and I was like, "Uh-oh, I'm about to get on this plane, and nobody getting on here with me." And not, not the fear of flying alone, but it's just like when I leave here, I am not coming back.
Right.
Like not for the foreseeable future. So that was terrifying, and it was the best thing I ever did. Ooh, second best thing I ever did. Yes, after number one. So second, maybe second or third, but it was one of the best. I think for my personal development, it was the best thing I ever did. I grew a lot in that time. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about, the world and how to, how to look at things, and, also how to be. I feel like I posted something recently, yesterday on my personal social media, and just sharing like, my hesitations with moving abroad again, because though I like in my heart, I desire to do it. I'm also like, I'm not trying to be a colonizer.
Yeah.
And I feel like obviously there's a very specific way to do that. Everybody who moves abroad, from America is not a colonizer, but you absolutely can be. And, unless, I feel like there's a way to exist in the space,
Yeah.
and to not take away from the people who are there, and to not like, manipulate your way into being in that space, and immigrate, and immigrate in a way that that gives back to the place where you are, and does not, does not seek to, kind of get in there and just, metastasize yourself in your own community in a harmful way. So anyway, I have definitely gotten off course. Yes, moving abroad, number 2. Number 3, milestones. I should have thought about this beforehand.
Interesting.
I don't know. Like I feel like everything's a blessing. Everything's a positive thing. I would say maybe deciding to come back from living abroad.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was a milestone because it was the first time that I was really I felt like it was the first time that I really had to make an a I wouldn't even say an adult decision, but I was making a decision on the basis of my relationship, because I was in a relationship at the time that I was going. So I was really making the decision and making, in a way, a sacrifice, for for the good of my relationship.
Yeah.
Because I was actually offered to essentially take the position of the person above me.
Oh,
And
wow.
become kind of like a provincial coordinator, like the foreign coordinator for the province. Um, and I had to say no to that, and kind of be like, no, I already said that I wouldn't, and so I'm not gonna weasel my way out of it. I'm not going to like, I'm not gonna pussyfoot around it. Like I'm gonna be committed to what I said I was going to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is one of the moments that I felt like, one of the many, like that kind of was to me like defining what my version of manhood. And it was important for me to hold myself accountable really in that moment, and be like, no, like you said no, you said that you were coming home, you said you were not going to extend again, and so you need to, to be committed to your word as a man, like regardless of what happens with your relationship, regardless of, whatever. I'm like, because this country, this opportunity, more, the opportunity to travel and do a job, and to go abroad and do all these different things that you really desire and enjoy doing, more likely than not will always be here, but your partner may not be. And you know that you like this person, you might not like that job, you might not enjoy this, longer than another couple of months, like you may be over that, but you know that you're not ready to end this relationship. So
Yeah.
going on home, skedaddle, and you know. So yeah, it was a difficult decision. I wouldn't even say it was difficult. It wasn't difficult, but it was hard to do. It was hard to kind of go through in that moment. It's like, oh my gosh, everything about this experience is ending. So yes, that was a milestone, but I feel really good about it. I don't regret it. I will do it again.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
okay.
What is your favorite thing that you have done professionally?
Oh, I've done so much. My favorite thing that I've done professionally. Ooh, I I'm trying to think. I always have a hard time with this because I have done so much
Mm-hmm.
and it's all been kind of cool. And I also have a tendency to forget the things that I've done. And that is all happening in my brain right now. So maybe I will just back it up and like talk about a concept. So I mean, first and foremost, all glory to God. I I everything I've done professionally. I think just saying yes to this profession, like that has been a favorite thing, that has been a life-changing thing, that has been the thing that got me to all of the favorite things. So I say it like that because when I was in college, first of all, I went in thinking, that I was going to come out with this econ major. And your girl, like it took me a while to figure it out, but that is not my forte. That is not my industry. I had no business in those classes and wasted some time, wasted some money. So eventually switched my major to international affairs. And then, fast forward to being in the Peace Corps. And that is where I found my love and my passion for sexual and reproductive health education and working with teens and specifically working in Black and Brown communities. And just the importance of that work and just really fell in love with it. So, it's one thing to go into a Peace Corps, some type of service corps, and they train you to do your job, but then of course you learn some additional stuff along the way. But then there are a significant amount of folks that participate in those types of things where once they come back, they go back to their quote unquote regular life. And so their regular life might not have included any of the stuff that they were doing while they were away. I said yes to continuing to do SRH work and being in this field and growing and learning in like the tenets and concepts of reproductive justice and birth justice. I made a very conscious decision to continue that path forward because I had found my love for it while I was away. And so, that's been my just favorite thing professionally. And so the other thing about this is not only did I find my love for SRH work, but that's also where I got the seed planted to become a doula. It started all the way back in 2011. I didn't, take my first training until 2017, but it started all the way back in 2011. And it's because of what I saw there. It's because of what I experienced there. And like I said, saying yes to this pathway. Sometimes it is not glamorous. Folks don't get paid what they are due. Like you see all the time how people are trying to quote unquote defund Planned Parenthood or, cut folks off from accessing those services and that information. So there are battles, but largely I have enjoyed this profession. I'm so glad that I said yes. That has been one of my favorite things, one of my favorite career moves. It's like just saying yes to this new pathway. At the time it was a new pathway, but it's opened up so many doors. I've done keynotes, I've presented, at huge conferences. I've created whole programs. I have worked with so many students and adults. And this provides a space and opportunity for like constant iteration, constant evolution. In a way that when I was saying yes before, I was like, oh yeah, I want to talk about condoms and, help the kids. And I want to be the person in the classroom that looks like them. And, helps them feel comfortable to talk about these things. And it's not to say that it was short-sighted, but I didn't know stepping into that and saying yes to that would bring me to where I'm at now. And so now I have my own business. And so another part of this is with my business, with being a doula, people are like, oh, so you just focus on birth. No, I focus on the full spectrum. And I talk about sex and sensuality because that's important. That's important. I want to support you in not losing sight of those things as well, and figuring out what it will look like after baby, after a body-based transition. Like, let's tap back into your senses and into how you feel in your body. And so having the entry point of SRH, or sexual and reproductive health education, before like taking the training to become a doula, helped me see that these two things they're not separate. For me, they should not be separate. And so there's a way for them to come together. And so second favorite thing is like making the decision to inextricably link these two things, these two areas together. Because at one point I was like, oh, well, what I do over here for like sex education needs to be separate. And I'm like, actually, no, it doesn't. They go together. They go together. But yeah, when I decided, like, as I was making plans to come back to the States, I told people, I want to teach sex ed. I want to do sexual and reproductive health education. And at the time I was also saying, and I think I want to be a doula one day. And so someone in my family was like, are you sure that's a job? Can you get paid from that? And I said, yes, it's a job. It's a thing. And so from that point in time, like every time I level up in my career and in my profession, they're like, yeah, you made a good choice. You made a good choice. Because who knew?
Right. You can't see it. You can't always see it.
You can't always see it.
Yeah.
But I mean, especially with like, I've been told to my face that this is a non-traditional profession. I'm like, I guess I'm not going to take offense to that. You're saying it kind of funny, but okay. So, me and my non-traditional profession are making moves. But if you haven't seen somebody act in this capacity, then no, you don't think it exists. No, you don't think people can get paid from this. Right. But yeah.
Yeah, nobody knows what I do either. So I totally, in that regard, I totally get it. And I also I didn't know that this was like a job before I saw people doing it as a job. I was like,
right.
What? So yeah, so it is interesting to be in these very specific places, but I think, I think what's also rewarding, and I can't say this for you, but what's also dope about the work that you are doing, non-traditional or not, like you're actually having an impact on people's lives.
Right.
Whereas a lot of the, nobody's really conditioned to consider the impact that you have on society and on, and on individual lives in making your career choice. Like it's always just like, how much money can you make from that? Can you make money from that?
Can you make money from that? Yeah.
Right. Like, is this a thing that's going to be like developmental and like, good for, for your financial well-being. And that's the only thought that goes into it. And it's not that it's not a, a valid thought. It's just not, it shouldn't be the only thought.
Yep.
So many people go in and get jobs that they hate, and you walking around and you miserable, and you're not well, I guess, in the wholeness of self. And, doing something where you are genuinely having an impact on people's lives in the way that they process a major life event too, like is not only commendable, but yes, you can make money from it.
Right. Yeah. I did an education session for a group of folks who are studying to become childbirth educators. And so throughout their course, they learn about just the different stuff that goes into it, like, talking to people about birth settings and just the content pieces of what they will eventually teach. My session, though, because this is also something that I love and did not anticipate would happen, my session was about how to craft an engaging session, Like, you got to think about that. How do you craft an engaging course? So taking all of the things that I have learned since 2011 when I started in, a sex education, plus all of the things that I'm, now in more recent time learning because everyone's having to pivot to the virtual, and applying that to this very specific piece of content. But it's still broad enough. I love the fact that that opportunity presented itself. And so someone yesterday was like, they asked, how long have I been doing this? And I said, oh, X amount of time. They said, you really enjoy this and like it comes through. And I said, yeah, I do actually really enjoy this. And who knew that the person that used to hate public speaking would eventually, like, I've made a career out of talking to people, especially about interesting things like bodies and babies and liquids and juices and sex stuff. Yeah.
So
that's that. So my next question is, we're going to speak it into existence. So what are you looking forward to in the next 5 years of your life?
looking forward to being married. I really did not.
Aww.
I did, and
Aww.
I kid you not, I did not see it coming. I think when we started looking at venues, I was like, uh-oh, now I'm gonna be somebody's husband. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm excited about it. And I'm also excited about the way that it is causing me to take a more active role in my life. And we discussed this before we even started the show, like, just me kind of taking a more intentional approach to life. But it's making me look at my health and and what I'm doing professionally and whether or not I'm happy, because whatever happens with our family, I think it's important that we are happy people, and that we are like happy and fulfilled people coming together to make a happy and fulfilled unit and family. So yes, I'm looking forward to being married because I'm looking forward to the challenge of like really making sure that like I'm being my best self at all times. So yeah, I'm excited about that in 5 years. I am looking forward to being in a different place, I guess, professionally. Um, I am in a place right now where I'm really high level, like observing myself and observing like, okay, what are you actually trying to do with the rest of your life? And I mean, I cannot deny that finances are like high on that list, of making sure that I'm doing things and creating things and doing a thing work wise like that is going to be financially beneficial to myself and my family. But but I think for the first time, maybe I believe that there's an opportunity for me to do things that make me happy and make me money. So I'm trying to figure out how to get there. But in 5 years, I look forward to being settled in that space, being financially settled, and settled in my relationship. I really do see myself in 5 years not here anymore.
Yeah.
Not work wise, but just not in the country anymore.
Yes, give me a place to visit.
Yeah, come on over.
I'm down.
Yeah, I intend to live a quiet life, but I also do intend to live one that's not here. I just can't see it here, but I am open to, to things blossoming and being better here, as well. I'm open to everything, but I definitely see in 5 years not living in the States.
Yeah.
Because why?
That's real.
Well, hot wings. That's a reason.
I mean, you can make hot wings.
I can figure out anything anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
That's not a problem. Don't let these wings hold you back, my brother.
So yeah, no, so yeah, I see that. I don't know. I would say, like, in closing, like I would say that I see myself creating, period. Like I see myself developing things, creating things, things that I want to see, things that I want to do. Like I feel like it's gonna be in the next phase of my life is gonna be really important that the thing that I know what I want to do and that I make it happen, if that makes sense. Like I just like even in this creating like co-creating this show with you, like I really feel a sense of like capability and empowerment to be like, okay, like you want to see this thing, you want to do this thing, create it, make it. You have the ability, you know how to at the very least find the resources if you don't have them at your disposal, right away. You can do the thing, you just have to get out there and create it and make it happen. So yeah, I think in 5 years I see myself doing a lot more creation, a lot more a lot more kind of living in my creative self and in my creative space, and developing things out of that.
Okay.
I'm also trying to make sure I'm saying this the way that I feel it.
Yes.
And that's okay, I'm gonna get there, but for now, you get the gist of what I'm saying.
Got it. I do. I feel it. I feel it.
Yes. All right. So next question. What is your favorite thing about yourself?
Oh, this is easy. My favorite thing about myself is that I'm a Black woman. Like hands down. Period. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Like I remember as a kid just being so in awe of the color of my skin. And I'm still in awe. Like, I just think that Black is so beautiful. And like, credit to my parents for instilling that in me at such an early age. But I love being a Black woman. Now everybody else got some problems with it. That's not my ministry. That's not my business. That's y'all's problem. But I love being a Black woman. I think it is so lit. And then to be amongst my sisters, be amongst my fellow Blacks, is also like I am a part of a funny group of people. I am a part of a resilient group of people. And like, not for naught, of course, once again, like folks have problems with us. There is a large, very rich, very complicated, very traumatic, but also very joyful history that we have. But I feel like that is in my skin. Like I represent those things, and I don't know, I just love it. Yeah. And so sometimes I'll be talking to my partner. Like I said, I used to marvel at the color of my skin when I was a kid. I still do it. And I'll be like, look at us. We're just so brown. I love it. It's just look at us. It's like my brown skin and your brown skin just together. I don't know. So that's my favorite thing about myself. I'm a Black woman.
I love that.
It's lit. We
Black
create cultures, we shift culture.
Absolutely.
We drive it, we do all the things to the culture.
And
with the culture and for the culture.
It does, and let's be clear. Because y'all know I'm always gonna stand a Black woman. And it doesn't move without you all.
But I just feel so privileged to be a part of that group. Like I have to recognize that, and I don't know what folks' beliefs are as far as like reincarnation or anything like that. I truly have no clue where I stand on that either. And we can talk about that in another episode, but I have to think I was chosen specifically to don this color skin. And that is amazing. Like beautifully and wonderfully made. Yes, I was. Down to the skin color.
Now, I don't know who else gonna read it. And they might have to, wrestle with whether or not that's true about themselves.
Right.
But me
over here in this abode, yes. So yeah, that's my favorite thing about myself.
I love it. I feel like that's a good place to stop, but I
mean, we can stop if you want to.
I just, hey, what else we gonna talk about? What else we gonna? That's a great place to stop the family feud.
Let's do it then.
So, Black women who are listening, you first of all, y'all are our demographic, so we appreciate you for listening. And remember that, hold on to that, beautifully, fearfully, and wonderfully made, and all of those things. Continue to share your magic, share your joy, share your light, with one another first, and with the rest of the people if they deserve it.
Yep, and that's if they deserve it. You get to set the standard and make the criteria for that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So that is it for Family Feud, and we're gonna roll into love letters.
Woo, woo. All right, so let's get into these love letters. Gant, you're gonna go first.
All right, so my love letter for this week is practice encouraging others. A lot of times we miss the opportunity to uplift each other without giving the backhanded compliment or, the slight to somebody's, dreams, aspirations, or goals, which, fits in with a little bit of what we talked about is like, can you make money from this thing that you really want to do, which is a dream? Don't do that. Just give people the encouragement that they need. And it's something that for me personally that I work on a lot because I'm a big person on words. I feel like, words mean things. Shout out to Crystal from the Reef. Words mean things. And it's really important that we do a better job at making sure that when we are giving encouragement, that we are actually giving encouragement. When we are speaking about people's dreams, when we are speaking about people's goals and aspirations and passions, that we don't give the little slight. Because a lot of times, especially and I can only say in Black communities because, I'm Black. We always say this, did you do your little podcast or did you do your little show? Did you, open your little business? Oh, what about your little so-and-so? It's like, why does everything have to be little? Let's, do a better job at making sure that we are genuinely supporting people and we are, treating things that people love and that they hold dear as bigly as you would treat your own or that you would expect for other people to treat yours. And sometimes those little, it's a microaggression, basically, in its own way, of doing the work of minimizing the work that someone else is doing, with as little effort as possible. So yes, genuinely encourage people, no, you can't always, follow, you can't always, pay for that person's painting, or you can't always buy their soap. Absolutely not. But you can do the work of influencing, share people's things, it might not be your thing, and that's totally fine. Not everything is for everybody, but do what you can do to uplift others and to genuinely give people support, genuinely give people love. And like I said, even if it's not your thing, you can still say, oh, I am so proud of you for doing that thing. That is an amazing accomplishment. Keep going, and I'm going to retweet it whenever it comes up.
Yep.
So that's it. Practice encouraging one another, giving genuine love and genuine support whenever you can. It doesn't cost you anything. Just do your best to help others. Keep creating and keep developing their best.
Oh, nice. I love it. I'm here for it. So my love letter this week, it's just about giving yourself the space to figure things out. I feel like, and we might have talked about it on this podcast, but I'm gonna say it again, even if we did talk about it, because it's my podcast.
Right.
And we kind of touched on this during Family Feud, but we didn't come into these spaces knowing that we would be in these spaces. And so when it comes to how folks are instilling things into their kids, raising their children, raising children in their lives, show them that it's okay to give yourself some space to figure things out. You are one of the examples that they're looking to, but then also you deserve to not be, what's the best way to say this? I don't want to say beholden. You deserve the space to not know everything, to try and learn new things, to have, some some career changes if that is what is calling to you. Of course, we have responsibilities that we have to take care of. And also, give yourself some space to not have all the answers or not be, locked into one specific thing. Give yourself space to evolve.
Absolutely.
I tell people that I think of my career as an evolution. And, I started out as one thing. And then as we continue to move forward, it's like slow rolling change and progress and evolution. And allowing yourself some space and some grace to just, as things come, we can add things to the pot, we can move things out of the pot. But giving yourself, like I said, the time, space, grace to evolve and giving yourself that space can be really beneficial for you in the short and long term. I truly do believe that, because it adds to like the zest and the variety of life. And even if you do decide to stay in like the same career or decide to do the same thing, because maybe it's not your career, maybe it's just like a hobby that you're doing, still giving yourself that space to like figure things out. You don't have to have everything set in stone. And the way you do it today doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be beholden to like, that's how you have to do it 15 years from now.
Yeah.
And that's, one of the big things that I also told this group of folks yesterday, like how you build your course right now, give yourself some space to like figure things out, allow things to evolve and change. It's the same thing with our lives. I think my mom has definitely been an example of that for me. And just, we give ourselves a little bit of time, and maybe another way to put this is you are creating space or leaving the door open for other opportunities, and recognizing that you don't have all the answers right now, and that the resources, tools, practices that you're engaging with or in right now, they are serving you for this moment, but knowing that ultimately there will be more to come. And so just that knowing, that creation of some buffer, some time, some whatever around it. That's what I want us to all get to. I don't have to have all the answers today. I'll get them tomorrow. I'll tap into my resources. I'll make some different connections. But yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. It's a good reminder. It's like, you don't have it out today, but you will.
You will.
Grace, get through this day. This is
Mm-hmm.
all right. So that was it for love letters. We are next rolling into what? We are next rolling into? No, that's fine. We are going to roll into my favorite cousin next, and then close the show.
Cool. Okay. So for my favorite cousin this week, it goes out to my pole sisters. So I think I've shared this on the podcast. I don't know. I talk a lot. I participate. I am a pole dancer. I'm a pole dance instructor. I'm a sensual movement enthusiast in general. That's how I describe myself. But I have this group of friends that I have met out here that I consider my pole sisters. And so we met through dance classes, and then a couple of us are instructors. And we have our own little group chat, and it's just been so lovely and wonderful getting to meet these ladies and to interact with them on a different level. And so I'm enrolling with them for at least 2 years, I think, at least 2 years. But because of the panic cotta, we weren't seeing each other. So we would do things like monthly Zooms. So we would at least get to interact with each other like that. So one person moved away and bought a house, because what is this life? And so she was back for this week. And so it was like a little family reunion, a pole sister reunion. And I got to see them on 3 separate occasions throughout this last week. And it was just so wonderful. And I love them so much. And they keep me grounded, but they also keep me uplifted. They have been there for some of the moments where I've been freaking out about the fact that because I have this really bad habit of comparing myself to other dancers. I need to stop doing that. And then for other people out there, comparison is the thief of joy. So you go ahead and stop right along with me. We won't stop that. Um, but you know, they've been there for like the very trying moments where I'm questioning my abilities, where I am questioning whether or not I still want to engage in my pole practice. And they're like, you know, just give yourself a little time. You know, we've all been really stressed. We've been going through a lot. It'll come back. You know, don't freak out. Like they've just been such a huge support. And so to be able to see them in person, not once, not twice, but thrice, it was really fun. And so the first night, it was a couple of us together, but we went to this food hall place that I'd never been to before. And so I also love them for, you know, being a part of, they're part of the problem just because once again, the food culture in this area, but also like continuing to help me explore different parts of the area because I would have never gone out there. But yeah, so we were together for like 7 hours and just talking and catching up and just being in each other's presence. And then we also did like a little poolside, you know, kickback at someone's rooftop pool, and she hosted us, and she's so extra and I love her so much. She made the charcuterie. And like that, she is a hostess, and I give her grief a lot, but I truly do love her. She is such a sweet spirit and such an amazing woman. And like they're all so smart. I love it. But yeah, she hosted us and that was great. And so we took lots of pictures and I don't know, we got to be silly, but then, you know, also had some really very real conversations and even put together because one of us had to go teach afterwards. So we put together the class layout for her to go teach. So, you know, just the collective thought. And then a couple days ago, we went to a tea. So we had afternoon tea, child. I felt so fancy. That was my second tea ever in life. And the first one was okay. The second one, I just was really excited because I haven't been outside for real in a whole year. And so, and I was excited to be with them. And so, you know, we said, okay, we're doing afternoon tea. That means we are going to dress. So I had my hair done. I put makeup on, had the dress. My other homegirl had the fascinator. We were ready. We were ready.
Oh,
no one else. Yeah, the little hat.
Okay.
You know, no one else in there was dressed for tea, but we were dressed. They should have been taking pictures to, you know, to promote it. But it was just it's been a fun week and just a very interesting one as far as the activities that we did together. But I love them so much. They're an amazing group of women. So shout outs to my pole sisters who are my favorite cousin this week.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Community is what it's all about. All right, so my favorite cousin this week, I feel like I'm going to split it in two because I just had a realization. First favorite cousin is Jazzy Pha. I feel like we're just not, you know, people are just not recognizing the impact that he had on, you know, on the Atlanta music scene. I don't know what happened. I like ran across like a throwback, like, you know, music, like R&B, like, you know, hip hop station of like the late 2000s. And I was like, wow, he really had this city on the chokehold, you know? So shout out to Jazzy Pha. This week, you are my favorite cousin. Random, I know.
Random? It's so random.
I know, but it came to my mind earlier this week, and I was like, we're gonna give him a little flower. We're gonna throw a flower his way. To my knowledge, he hasn't said or done anything problematic, so I'm going.
Right. For now, he will receive his flowers.
Lord, we will see what happens. But you know, I will rescind them, Jazzy. So act right.
Yes, because he listens to this podcast too.
He does.
Does.
It will come across his desk at some point in time. Shout out to him for now until he do something wrong. All right. And my other favorite cousin this week is Quality Time. it really, this kind of goes in hand in hand with what you shared, with the time that you spent with your sisters, like just, well, not your little sisters, but your pole sisters.
Yes.
Yes, just having the benefit and spending time with people that you love and really being present for each moment is a gift. My partner always says, you don't know how much time you have left with somebody. So like really be present in the moment when you're spending time with people. Really give them, really give up time. Like, yes, you have to do this other thing, and that other thing will probably persist to be there after you spend 30 minutes with somebody that you care about, that you love. It can be your friends, it can be your family, it can be coworkers if you love your coworkers. Some people really do. I have coworkers that I really, really enjoy and that I really love. So, whomever that may be, really spending time with people that you enjoy and who enjoy you. You all enjoy each other's company, and I believe iron sharpens iron, and continue to do that, and be around people that you respect, that you love, and that you enjoy spending genuine quality time. That's my favorite cousin for this week.
I saw something as I was scrolling through one of my IG pages, and it was a meme that said something along the lines of at some point in time, no, what was it? Think about it. Everyone has had like a last moment with you, or will have a last moment with you. We just don't know when it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, thinking about the times where, I had friends as a kid. I'm no longer friends with them. What was that last moment like?
Right.
What was the last moment like for friends that I had in college? Or I still talk to my host family down in Peru, but like my last physical moment with them. And so, yeah, when it comes to quality time with those you love and that also care for you, eventually there will be a last moment for y'all to be together. And we don't know when that is, where it will happen, but there will be a last moment. And so leading up to that moment, what has the time been like?
I'm just letting that settle on me and be like,
The internet be knowing sometimes.
on occasion.
On occasion.
But they also have children eat Tide Pods. So take it with a grain of salt. It happens. That was the time.
That was the time.
All right. So that is it for my favorite cousin and for the show this week. We'll go ahead and do like a live closing right now, because we also have a new platform out in the ethos. So Twitter is available now. You can follow us on Twitter. We are going to be figuring out how we want to share our content there. So, bear with us for a moment while we get that together. But do follow us on Twitter. It is at The Good Black Pod, just POD, because they don't support our long name. And on Instagram, you can follow us at the full name, The Good Black Podcast. You can also follow us on YouTube at The Good Black Podcast. If you are listening to this on YouTube, thank you. And I think that is everything. Also, if you want to join the conversation or have conversation suggestions for us, you can email those to us at goodblackpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
We thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you again in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Peace.